We're here for our free board. We're ready. Where's Carlos at? All right, guys, I am very privileged to be here today with
Carlos
and
Alicia.
And he's gonna tell the incredible story of Save Souls Skate Bowls. Okay, so I want you to start at the very beginning. How did you start skateboarding? How did you get involved into this at all? Tell me everything. And then I want to hear about your mission and everything.
All right. So it started when I was 7 years old. My dad got me this skateboard with a scooter attachment that had like Snoopy on it.
Yeah.
And the attachment, it had to go. And, you know, just tic-tacking this and that, but I loved it. I love skateboarding. You know, I grew up, never played sports, anything like, wasn't no baseball, football, but I love skateboarding.
So one day your dad just came home and said, hey, here's this skateboard scooter contraption.
Yup.
And then you said, the scooter's gotta go, Dad.
Yes.
And you took it off. Did you like see other skaters? Was there a park? Like?
So growing up, even till I was in my late teens and early adult, I didn't know anything about pro skaters. All I knew was like that Tom Petty free falling video, Back to the Future 2, and Bart Simpson.
It's funny, these mainstream movies, you're not the first person I've heard this, the mainstream movie, and then they start skateboarding.
Yes.
Okay, so then you start skateboarding and then what?
Live my life, this and that. You know, always kind of skateboarded, you know, here and there. Wasn't never really too good, but I just loved it.
Yeah.
It was that feeling of like, you know, when you're a kid and you're getting pushed on the swing and you get that high point, you get that little bit of adrenaline, that happiness feeling in your belly. And yeah, it was that high that I always kept chasing, and it was amazing.
So how long ago is that?
I mean, I'm 43 right now, so we're talking 30 something years, this and that.
30 something years ago.
Then you know, kind of got into a lot of trouble growing up.
Yeah.
And hit a rough point in my life where pretty much all I had left was a skateboard.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
Tell me what happened.
So car got repoed, had about a duffel bag of clothes, which I was living out of, kind of couch surfing, living on people's couches and all of that fun stuff, not in the best environments.
Yeah.
But my family and friends kind of came together and gave me the outlets to get me back on my feet.
Yes.
And through that time, when I only had that skateboard, I started going to the skate park every day, which was kind of a new thing. You know, this was, you know, 20-something years ago.
Here in Manteca?
No, back in Antioch. That's
Antioch Skate Park. Okay.
Yes. So in that park it's amazing. One thing, when I started going through there, everybody kind of welcomed me with open arms. Like, that was the first all-inclusive community that I'd ever met in my life. You know, like every color, race, you know, people, gender, whatever, you know, and that's the first time that I've ever seen that. And I'm like, this is amazing. And not only that, it's like, hey, you know, if somebody got a broken part or this or that or messed up shoes, there's always another homie hooking it up and giving that to me, or if I had some extra, I'd give it to somebody else. It was a real community vibe that I love that. It was amazing.
Well, tell me about that inclusive community that was skateboarding and what you were involved in before and how it was so different and what it was about skateboarding that.
So I was involved in a lot of drugs in that area, you know, stuff of that nature. You know, criminal activities, you know, most of the stuff luckily I didn't get caught for, but I was on a downhill spiral, and skateboarding was one of the positive things that I kept pushing.
Yeah.
And you know, one thing that I've learned as a skater is that when you fall down, you always got to get back up again. You got to keep rolling. That's kind of one thing that skateboarding has taught me, and I always went through with that. You know, after I kind of rose above that situation, you know, I ended up, you know, getting with a woman, had a family, this and that, and did the 9-to-5 thing, and you know, ended up, you know, everything you're supposed to do as an adult, and kind of put the skateboard away for some years, you know, focused on work and this and that, and it kind of went stagnant for a while, you know.
And so then you go to the skate park in Antioch and you see this community. Like, were you not used to an inclusive community that just everybody was welcome?
No.
So tell me, like, what the difference was.
Well, when you go to jail, everything's divided up. When you go to school, everything's divided up. Everybody got cliques. I mean, even just anywhere you go, life is just like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's just it's segregated, and it's not. I don't think it's all by choice. It's just people go with who they feel comfortable with.
Right.
You know, just like, you know, if you grow up in a neighborhood where there's gangs and stuff like that, and those are your homies, you're gonna be chilling with them, and it is what it is. You know.
And then at the skate park, you were like, "What's happening here? Everybody's together."
Exactly. Exactly. That was super cool. So that's one thing that always stuck with me. But when I finally did get my life together, one thing that I promised myself is that I'm gonna do my best to help others that aren't doing so good. You know,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do my best to try to make this world a better place.
Wow.
And you know, since then I helped build 9 homes for families in Mexico, fed homeless on multiple occasions, raised money for veterans foundations, but still didn't do nothing, you know, through skateboarding.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, I put the skateboard away until this one came along.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me what happened. Tell me everything.
We had moved from Antioch to Lodi,
Yeah.
you know, and Antioch was just getting a little too hood for us, so new area, new environment. And
Yeah.
we had moved in right after the school year started. She couldn't get in the school down the street, her and her sister, and they had to go to a school across town for like a month. Then they got transferred to the school down the street for a month, and then COVID hit. And like at that time, I lived in a house full of women, and they were on lockdown, just at each other's
Oh,
throats.
wow.
You know, and so you know, we had not met any kids in the neighborhood. You know, it's like the kids, they didn't really meet friends. This one out of nowhere, she was like, Dad, I want to learn how to skateboard.
Really?
Yeah.
During lockdown.
Yeah.
So what was it during lockdown that made you decide?
I was just bored. I didn't have anything else to really do.
Okay.
And I just saw videos of like people skating online.
Yeah. So many people started skating during lockdown. Okay, so then you start skateboarding, and then you were like, I used to do this.
Okay, so when she said she wanted to skateboard, I was like, this spark just turned into a flame. I'm like, we can skateboard. I got me a skateboard, got her a skateboard, got her sister a skateboard, and we're smashing through the neighborhood. And I'm like looking back, like, y'all better keep up, you know, like I ain't that old.
Yeah.
And before we knew it, like by skating, you know, I'm very well aware of like my surroundings, my environment, everything that's going on around me.
Yeah.
And I could see people peeking out the windows, kids kind of opening up their doors, like, is it safe to come out? And
Oh, yeah.
next thing you know, they started meeting friends. Like we had heck of kids in the neighborhood, and they came through and they're sharing my daughter's boards and stuff. And there's like 10 of them. They got a little gang of them just chilling and skating. And I'm like, this is super awesome. And one thing I realized is that like these kids these days, they ain't like me when I was growing up. They got all their electronics. They're kind of little zombies and stuff. Sorry kids if you a little zombie or something, but it's just, you know. And so I thought,
Well, the positive aspect is they get out there, they get on the skateboard, and they just have some fun without the phones.
exactly. And the main thing is that skateboarding teaches very important lessons. Like when you fall, you get back up again.
Yeah.
You know, you probably ain't gonna get that trick on the first try, but you're gonna keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. Teaches perseverance.
Yes.
And when you get that trick, it's gonna give you a sense of accomplishment.
Wow.
And so that was one of the things, but I mean, at that point, like I was kind of running through my head, whatever, but I was like, I'm gonna see what I can do to get these kids some skateboards. You know, they're kicking it down my house every day. They're like, Carlos, I'm thirsty. I'm like, drink out the water hose. You know,
Yeah.
it's just one of those things. So I reached out to all these different community groups on Facebook, all these mom and pop groups,
Yeah.
this and that. I'm like, hey, if you got an old skateboard collecting dust in your garage, you got some parts, helmets, whatever, I would love to take them off your hands.
Yes.
My goal is to get all the kids in the neighborhood hooked up with boards.
Yes.
The support, it was overwhelming, and I'm like, okay, I'm hooking up this kid, that kid, this kid, that kid, and word just kept getting around. I'm like, all right, so I had to expand a little bit, started reaching out to groups in the surrounding cities.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, like kids at her school found out, and then teachers know, we're telling the kids. I got kids going through knocking on every door in the neighborhood like, does the skateboard guy live here?
No way!
Yeah, so
We're here for our free board. We're ready. Where's Carlos at?
pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, so so that was cool.
Yeah.
And then you know, we could only do so much skating in the neighborhood, so we started going to different skate parks and reaching out to different little board makers, guys making boards in their garage,
Yes.
different skate shops, using them as drop-off locations for parts. They were hooking us up with stuff too.
Nice.
We would go like to Stockton Skate Park, and we would hook up those kids. Like I would see a kid with no board there, like the parents just dropped their kids off at the skate park, like the skate park was the babysitter or
Yeah.
something, you know, or
Right.
kids on beat up boards, or maybe, you know, convert that scooter kid or something,
Yeah.
you know. It was all love, and at the same time, you know, these parks were not being monitored in any which way.
Yeah.
So I would see somebody that would be, you know, doing drugs at the park, and, you know, we'd have to give them an eviction notice, because I'm like, hey, my kids are skating here, we got kids here, like,
No
yeah.
drugs at the park. Keep
Yeah,
it
no,
clean.
yeah, no, kick rocks.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So people kept hearing the story, and somehow I ended up on Cat Country. I mean, I didn't end up, but they were talking about me.
On the radio.
Yeah, like I don't even listen to.
What did they say? There's this mysterious skateboard
yeah,
guy
skateboard
that goes
guy.
from park to park, kicks out the drug users and puts in the skateboards.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm like, I don't even listen to country music. I mean, I do now,
Yeah.
you know, but then the homies that listen to country music are like, that's not country, that's Darius Rucker. I'm like, that's Hootie, he's cool, you know. But yeah, so then we kept going, getting more involved with the community, hooking up with other guys that were doing the same thing in Modesto,
Yeah.
expanding, and then you know, start throwing events and this and that.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, the news people started coming, and I'm like, man, I don't want to talk to them. You know, it's just they started coming, and I'm like, all right, well, maybe if I talk to them, it will get us a little bit more people like watching. Maybe we'll find the kids that really need help,
Yes.
or maybe find other people to donate parts. You
Yes.
know, and that's what happened. So we expanded a lot. We're on the news. Good Day Sacramento, super nice to us.
Wow,
We've been on them
cool.
twice. Now I'm linked up with like social care workers that handle foster kids and like, you know, different people in youth facilities, stuff like that.
Wow.
Or we'll go with a Tragic Skate Co. We'll go to the military bases and give the kids their skateboards. And,
Wow.
yeah, just do the best we can just to keep these kids rolling.
So how many skateboards are you giving away?
605 as of today.
As of today!
Yes, 605 skateboards.
We saw him earlier. We gave the 600th board and then 5 more on top of that. So what is it like for you when you see those kids get their first board?
It's awesome. And what's even more awesome is that seeing these kids like that have never had a skateboard, never stepped on a skateboard, now they're skating at the park and they're having a good time doing
So
it.
cool.
I'm like, it's allergies. I swear it's allergies. Like, you know, and the main thing is that, you know, I'm giving these kids a positive outlet. Anybody could be like, say no to drugs, say no to gangs, and the kids are gonna be like, yeah, you know, whatever. But like, as far as like the gang stuff goes, and like I was talking about earlier, how we're, you know, products of our environments.
Yeah.
You know, you can't ask people to turn their back on anybody they grew up with, a family member, a brother, or this and that. You know, and I got all my friends, they're still friends, it's cool, you know, but I'm on a different path right now than them. But it's like when I give a skateboard, it's like, hey, this is your out. You know, us skaters, we fly under the radar. Nobody trips off of us. We can do anything. We can go. If you know, somebody asks you, hey, come with me. We're gonna go do this. No, man, I gotta go skate. I gotta hit the park right now.
That's right.
You know,
I'm busy.
That's your get out of jail free card.
That's
right there.
So cool.
You know, so
keep it positive. Keep it good. Okay, so what's the name of this?
The name is Save Souls Skate Bowls.
So good.
Yes.
How did that come about?
The other guys that I linked up with, they thought of the name because, like, I don't know, I'm not too good at thinking about stuff because I'm like, skateboarding for the future, something that sounded lame. I'm like, yeah, forget it, I ain't even gonna have it. And they thought of that. I'm like, ooh, that's catchy.
So good.
It's a little bit of a tongue twister, you know, but yeah, it's stuck. You know, it's stuck, and it's like, all right, you know, cool.
I love it. Well, you're definitely saving souls.
Yeah, thank you. I
It's
appreciate
amazing.
that. And
amazing work.
The crazy thing is that I will never know 100% if I truly have saved a soul because, you know, how many kids are going to take to it, how many kids are not. But at least I could plant that seed.
That's right.
You know, in them and give them a positive outlet, and it's up to them. And
that's right.
Hopefully one day, you know, it'll do what it did for me and for so many others. And, you know, besides that, besides the skateboarding, we still go out, we feed a lot of homeless. For like $70, I could feed over 100 homeless people.
Wow.
You know, we do that at least. We do that once or twice a month.
Wow.
And like we'll feed the dogs too. It'll be like 25 homeless dogs we'll hook up.
Yeah.
You know, hey, she loves it. She loves feeding the dogs.
Yeah,
you know?
I love the dogs.
But yeah, we'll do that and just try to put some positivity in this world. You know,
That's beautiful.
That's what it's all about.
We need more people doing this.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure. So how can people support you?
Hit us up on the Facebook Save Soul Skate Bowls community group, Instagram Save Soul Skate Bowls. If you need kids that we can help, let's do it. Let's help those kids. If you can help us in any which way possible, we are a legitimate 501c3 nonprofit, which I didn't do the paperwork. I don't even know how to do the paperwork. I'm just lucky to have it, and I don't even know how that stuff works, but whatever it is.
The work. That's what matters.
Yeah, if you're a mom and pop or a skate shop or skater or whatever, if you have an old skateboard collecting dust in your garage, I'd like to take that off your hands and give it to a kid to where maybe it could change his life.
Let's go. Check out the Facebook group. Please support them. Save Souls Skate Bowls. Thank you so
Got
much,
it.
Carlos.
Thank you, brother.
You're a legend.
I would like to give a shout out to a couple people while I'm
Please,
here.
please.
Some skate shops, okay? Boards and More out of Brentwood, Rise and Grind out of Modesto, Years of Mine Sports out of Modesto, Wicked Ways in Lodi, the first shop to ever donate to us, Wildwood Skate Shop. We got Killer Instinct Skateboards, 100% skateboarder, NorCal.
Right here. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah. My daughter for helping guide the path on this. You know, Jesus Christ for giving me the strength to do this. Everybody that's important in our life that helps pour that little bit of gas on this spark to make this happen. You know, I want to thank all of y'all. Super appreciate you.
I love it.
Thank
I love
you
it.
for this interview. I appreciate it. You were so
Oh, it's my
awesome.
pleasure. My pleasure.
You are awesome for what you do for all of these kids in these skate communities. You got a lot of people. There's a lot of people that you are a freaking rock star, and it is honored to be sitting at this table right next to you.
No, it's my honor. I'm trying to do the work that you're doing here. Thank you so
Well,
much.
let me know. You got my number.
I do.
Let's do it. Cool. All right, brother.
All right,
Thank
guys,
you,
please
thank you,
support him.
thank
Check
you.
out the Facebook group. You know what to do.